Single inline hooks. You can see a couple of examples here of a few of the baits. Almost everything in this tray has been modified with these single inline hooks as well. They provide a wider gap than the treble hooks that were originally on here. That's going to help you with your hook sets. Your hooked fish, once they do grab onto this, are going to get off less than they would with a smaller treble hook. And when you have multiple points hooking into the fish, that gives them an easier way to thrash around and get off oftentimes. So these are a couple of reasons I think they're better, and I believe they're better, not just think. I have done some experiments. These little baits here, I had the same coloration. Everything was exactly the same. Trolling through a area that had a ton of crappie and some bass as well. And I went back and forth trolling both sides, one with these single inlines, while at the same time I had another one with the treble hooks. I did this a couple of days. What I came to find out through some really fun experimentation was that I did get bit less with these, which makes sense because you only have 2 points of a potential hook set with these. But with these single inlines, I caught more fish. I brought more into the boat. They did get off a lot more with the treble hooks, significantly more. So my actual hookup with the fish was more with the treble hooks. My actual in the boat harvesting ability to catch that fish, get them into the boat, was better with these single inline hooks. You can argue for or against these single inlines. I'm in favor of them from my own experiences and observations. Some other benefits: once you're in the boat, it is quicker and easier for you to unhook the fish and get back to fishing. You also get snagged less. With these trolling in some areas, if I have treble hooks, I'm going to get snagged a whole lot more than I am with these single inlines, which makes sense because you've only got 1 point that's going to get hooked here, and if you look on the back side when it's going through the water, that upward one is going to be a whole lot less likely to get it than 3 barbs with a couple, one or more pointing downward to get snagged on. So it's a lot less problematic on getting snagged. You're also going to get less weeds, other debris, leaves hooked onto just these 2 single points. So not as many bites get hooked initially, but for my test, you get more fish in the boat. The longer your cast, the more helpful single inline hooks will be towards getting those fish in the boat. If you're interested in making the switch, the best cost I found on these hooks is Jan's Netcraft. I don't make a single dime. I don't even get a sticker from Jan's for sharing that information. I'm doing this to try to help other people out. Unlike a lot of people on here that are trying to make a fortune selling stuff that might not be as great as it's portrayed. My whole goal here on YouTube is to try to help other people, not to make a fast buck claiming stuff's great when it's not really that great. So these hooks, you can get them in bulk on Jan's Netcraft. It's got a lot of other cool stuff on that site for tricking out your baits. I've used them for years for a lot of different stuff. Just be prepared to spend some money there. Also, another thing to consider, you can get the larger hooks on here and not have to worry about getting them tangled up, which can happen with these if you don't at times. Depends on the bait. Some of these bigger ones that you have, you don't have to worry about it because they are so far apart from each other. They're not going to get tangled up. But on smaller baits, these hooks, if you don't have this shrink wrap on, then that rear treble hook, not treble, that rear single inline hook will get stuck, sometimes wrapped around the forward hook. Doesn't happen a lot, but it happens enough that I thought to get some shrink wrap. This is just a kit bought at an auto parts store on the cheap, and you just cut off a little snippet and you just heat it up and put it on. That one's on the yellow. This is clear. You can't even see it very well unless I bring it right up that I've got that on there. And you're going to want to do your best to line it up even. If you were to get it to where that hook was not evenly aligned, then that would throw off the walk of that bait. The only other thing besides the single inline hooks that you're going to need, of course, is going to be a tool for those split rings to get them off. You can find that at Jan's, and you can find that elsewhere online. One I have is from Texas Tackle Craft, which is pretty funny because if you read the thing, it says made in Pakistan. I don't think it's Pakistan, Texas either. I think it's really Pakistan. So you need split ring pliers. Recommend that you consider getting some shrink wrap, and of course the single inline hooks. On Jan's Netcraft 2, there's also, you can find a diagram showing you the different sizes of hooks, so you can maybe figure out which ones are going to work best for replacing the hooks on any of these baits that you want. And I have used these examples I have right in front of me are all, of course, crankbaits, but I've also used these on topwater baits, papars, stick baits, a lot of different things, and it's worked great on a lot of varieties. It's pretty neat. You'll see them hit on topwater baits sometimes, and they'll come back and go for it again. They did it, and when they get hooked good. They don't get snagged enough to just know to stay the heck away from that bait. They work really great on topwaters when the bite is good. If they're just, infrequently biting at it, maybe you'd be just as well off with the treble hooks. But when the bite's good, those inlines are awesome because you can get that fish into the boat, get it off easily, and get right back to fishing. So definitely consider using these single inline hooks, guys. It's definitely made my fishing more enjoyable and better on the fish as well. Please let me know if you like this, and if you have any suggestions or questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.